Welcome to Staten Island Technical High School. My name is Mark Erlenwine. I'm the proud principal and alumnus, class of 1992 of Staten Island Tech, and I'm here to welcome all of you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Well, welcome everybody. I know we have two groups of families here who are either just arriving and you made your first stop here in the auditorium, and I hope you're going to take a tour of the building afterwards. Some of you have already made your way around the building, either part of the building, half of the building, and you stopped here. So I encourage you either way, whichever group you're in, you please take the time to peruse through all of the first floor, the second floor, and the basement. Make sure you get a chance to see all the wonderful things that we have here to offer at Staten Island Tech. So at this point, like I said, you're in one of these two groups of having had the opportunity to visit with many of our faculty, staff, students, parents who are here tonight to showcase all the amazing things that we have to offer academically in the classroom, extracurricularly outside of the classroom. And I just wanted to spend a few moments with you this evening talking a bit about some of the most important things about our school that not everybody always thinks about. And then, of course, to talk a little bit about the Specialized High School Admissions Test, which is the admissions process in which you apply and hopefully get admission to Staten Island Tech. So just to begin, first and foremost, I want you to think about, as you're walking through this building, whether you've started to or are about to, I want you to think about who you are, and in the next 4 years of your education, what is your goal, and what are you looking to find and explore? And in no way, shape, or form should you know at this point what you're going to be when you grow up. It's okay if you don't. Part of the experience in high school is to be exposed to the many different things that we have to offer to get you thinking about what those things are that you're going to need. And the truth of the matter is, while what you see here kind of encompasses the type of things that you do in your career, the truth is by the time you graduate college, there are going to be jobs that don't even exist yet that are going to emerge. So part of our job here at Staten Island Tech, and something we've done exceptionally well and gotten really good at, is preparing our students and our future for those jobs that don't even exist, focusing on the skills that you're going to need to be successful in college and career, and most importantly in life skills. So when I talk about who are you, there is something here for everybody at Staten Island Tech. We've really thought about what are the different types of things that students are interested in. And I know when you hear the term Staten Island Tech, the immediate thoughts go to this is just a school for science and math and STEM, and that's simply not true. What we've really done really hard and put a lot of time into is curating and coming up with a lot of different experiences for our students who are scholar athletes, who are into the humanities, into foreign language, and have a vast array of interests in addition to just maybe STEM. Maybe you're not that STEM student at all, and there's a place for you here at Staten Island Tech. So what do I mean by that? So you might be that student who is really interested in achieving and earning as many college credits as you can while in high school, because that's important to you. You're an academic. You enjoy that type of work. We have the full array of advanced placement courses. Your entire history sequence here at Staten Island Tech is 100% advanced placement. So you're guaranteed to walk out of this building with at least 3 advanced placement courses from our history sequence. Beyond that, there's a vast array of all the science, humanities, mathematics-based advanced placement courses that our students can take starting in sophomore year. So actually, a matter of fact, starting in freshman year, you'll have your first advanced placement course in AP World History. So take that in consideration with all of the College Now classes that we have to offer and all of our special partnerships that we have with colleges across the country that offer our students dual enrollment opportunities while a high school student. So what that basically means, and that's not just the focus and the goal here, if you're that student and it's important to you, to while you're in a high school classroom, to be able to achieve and get some of that college experience ahead of time, you're going to have that opportunity here. And quite frankly, that is part of the ingredients that makes for a very competitive and alluring admissions profile once you apply to college. So we have a lot of that here. A lot of people don't think of Staten Island Tech for its athletics, but this is the home of some of the best scholar athletes in New York State. Staten Island Tech has 43 PSAL, Public School Athletic League teams for boys and girls, many of which some of you might be surprised, are championship teams. If you follow the Staten Island Advance or SI Live, you can see on a day-to-day, week-to-week, year-to-year basis just how competitive and well our students perform here at Staten Island Tech. So if that is something that is interesting to you and important to you, you can be a scholar athlete here. And what's really unique about the experience here is you will get playing time on the field, on the court, whatever the venue might be, in the pool. The amount of competition, while it's different from other schools, there's absolutely an opportunity for students who want to achieve that status if they wish to. Then we have our scientists and engineers. Now we have a full array of different science pathways that you could take here at Staten Island Tech. Many of our students are interested in going into the healthcare fields. We just launched this year 3 specific healthcare programs that work in concert with our vast array of curriculum in the classroom experiences. And you're going to hear me say this on this evening in this 15-minute presentation. What's really important to us here at Staten Island Tech is to get you out of the classroom and trying out these amazing things that mostly college students get a chance to do. Well, you're not going to have to wait till college to try things out. More to come on that. But like I said, we just launched this healthcare initiative, these 3 different healthcare programs in partnership with Northwell Health, Staten Island University Hospital, for our students who are interested in becoming physicians, going into a variety of different healthcare fields. You'll have that opportunity here. Maybe you're a research student and you want to compete in what was formerly the Intel Science Talent Search, and you want to compete at this very high level across the country and internationally with students who are interested in doing scientific research. Maybe you're the philanthropist. Maybe you love doing extracurricular work and working with clubs and activities that do amazing and good things for people in humanity. It's very humanitarian work. Maybe that's you. We have over 100 clubs and extracurricular activities, many of which are connected with philanthropic associations. So we have a ton of that here. Maybe you're an artist or a maker. And while I'm talking about artists, how about a round of applause for the Trill Seekers who are playing for you? Let's start with music. The Trill Seekers comprise of students from many of the 9 different musical bands that we have here at Staten Island Tech, which is inclusive of being one of the few high schools in New York City that has a marching band. And if you were waiting outside earlier this evening, you got to see and hear the marching band on your way while you were waiting to enter the building this evening. So we have gifted and talented and artistic students here at Staten Island Tech. So you have 9 different bands to choose from. And if you're a creative and an artist, the interesting thing is our entire STEM curriculum. In the 9th grade, you're going to take Introduction to TV Studio and Engineering. You're going to take an Introduction to Robotics class. In the sophomore year, you're going to take an AutoCAD curriculum. So you're going to see that a lot of the different things that we're doing center around creativity, making things. And when we're talking about making things, I hope you were able to go downstairs right underneath us in room C6 and see our makerspace, which is a high-tech, low-tech, no-tech space that most of our faculty use to do project-based learning on a regular basis. So the makerspace is not just a place for arts and crafts. It's a place where the history classes come down to do special projects aligned to the curriculum. Our physical education classes are in there, our health classes, our science classes, ELA classes. It's an incredible opportunity for students to use tools, do hands-on learning, and do something that is out of their comfort zone. Moving on to our entrepreneurs. Staten Island Tech has participated since the inaugural event of the Young Entrepreneurs Academy. Several of our students have come into first place several years within this entrepreneurship program. Staten Island Tech is partnered with the College of Staten Island's incubator program. So if you're a student who doesn't want to wait till post-college to start your first business and start exploring that whole process, you will work with members from the Staten Island Chamber of Commerce and have a very unique experience starting your own business, doing product design, and doing something that most people don't get to do till college or post-college. And then, of course, we have our humanities. If you're a writer, you love to write, you love to read. We have our journalism club, the school newspaper, and a plethora of opportunities and activities for our students who are writers to take part in. And then, of course, there's the what if, and that's one of the best things about Staten Island Tech, is those are things that just simply aren't defined yet, and the things that our students come to us with as ideas. So what if we, I don't know, we took a balloon, filled it with helium, sent it up into low orbit with a camera, and we put a cell phone in there so we could track it once it lands. What would that look like? Could we do it? Let's take a look. So this was done in partnership with United Activities Unlimited, a group of our students a couple of summers ago. This is not Photoshop, this is actual footage from low orbit. They took a styrofoam box, they put a camera in it, GPS sensor data and software, with the helium, giant helium-filled balloon. We had to get a license to do this, so there's no collisions in space and air. And once the balloon actually landed, the students had to use the GPS data, this is upstate New York, to track down the box and then use that footage. So like I was just saying, this is a place where what if is possible. Anything is possible. And it's one of the amazing things that has defined our legacy as a school 34 years later. Now, this is where it gets unique. One of the things Staten Island Tech set out to do many years ago, realizing that our students, once they go to college, college is going to cost. I don't have to tell you that. College costs. And what if we can give our children the opportunity to try out different things while they were in high school? Why do they have to wait till college? Think you want to be an engineer? Well, you can try that in high school. Wouldn't it be great? Well, going back to my years as a student here in 1998 to 1992, my job after school was to walk down the block to Burger King, and I worked in Burger King, and that was my after-school job. But what if our budding architects in this room could go down the block to the nearby architect's office, or if you live in Brooklyn, we'll hook you up with a person in Brooklyn, or Manhattan, we'll hook you up with a person in Manhattan. And what if you got to work and earn an income learning the ropes in that field? What if you can do that? Well, that's exactly what we're doing. So we created this concept and this mantra of blurring the lines between high school, college, and career. And the way we do that is through a college-level career development center in Staten Island Tech. And that's in room 229 on the second floor. So while we have this absolutely rock star experience in the classroom, we wanted to make sure that we can connect what you're learning to the actual careers that that content is relevant to. So in our Career Development Center, it's a 4-year career exploratory experience focusing around work-based learning, internships, summer paid internships during the school year. The Chamber of Commerce, the Economic Development Corp of Staten Island are two of our partners, which have a vast array of businesses. But we have created partnerships in all 5 boroughs and absolutely very unique opportunities for students to do work-based learning while in high school. One of the best parts about this is our budding engineers who think they want to be engineers. You get the opportunity to try it and make money earning doing that. And then you're going to find out one of 2 things. Either you love it or something that you don't like at all. So guess what? You get to check that off or cross that out as something you're not going to pursue. And what that ultimately winds up doing, because in the end of the 9th grade is when you have your first opportunity to do a work-based learning internship. My son just finished the 9th grade, and he spent the summer doing a work-based learning internship. It's something I value, and it's something I think is really important for students to experience. Because beyond just the job, it's about skills. It's about learning social skills. The only way you do that is by getting out there, and we want our children to be prepared, have the ability to speak in public, have the ability to introduce themselves professionally, and the only way to do that is to get them out there and just to simply do it. But what's best is they get to do it, earn a paycheck, and learn something that they're either going to want to continue learning about they might want to do for a job or a career, or just move on to something else. This has been so successful for us, one of the most successful schools doing this type of work since, oh yeah, and by the way, our parents and our alumni are part of the team that come into the building and help us do this backpacks to briefcases session each and every week, where our parents, our alumni, or just professionals in all different workplaces come in to talk about to our children what that experience was like. What was college like? Where did I go to college? What were my successes? More importantly, what were the failures that shaped who I was or am? And lastly, when it comes to this, in the past year, out of the 1,360 students, we had 720 students enrolled and engaged in work-based learning paid internships. Our students earned in their pocket $1.5 million in total, which is astronomical. So Staten Island Tech is on the map in the city as being one of the schools that is really truly excelling at offering students career pathways and opportunities to learn. So moving on here, okay. This is a really important message that I want you to walk away with before I let you go and take a tour of the building. So our students that come to Staten Island Tech, and if you're interested in Staten Island Tech, I think that says something about who you are as a student. And I know you've worked really hard in elementary school, and I know you've worked really hard in middle school to climb that mountain and be the best of the best and the top student. One of the beautiful things and best kept secrets about Staten Island Tech is once you get here, you are amongst the top 5% in the country. Guess what? There's plenty of room for all 360 students in that class, when they come in, to stand and be proud at the top of that mountain. So you're no longer competing any longer to be number one or the number two. We don't acknowledge that here. We don't honestly care about that here. This is the first year there won't be a valedictorian or a salutatorian at graduation because it doesn't make sense. The top 50 to 100 students could be the valedictorian, the salutatorian at any other school. So it's just simply something that's not important to us and that we don't celebrate, but we honor it in different ways. So you're at the top here, and what I want you to walk away with, I don't want you thinking that all of our students do is study and work, because while we work hard, we play harder. We play harder. We have fun here. We do anything that we can do to make sure that on our watch, none of these students will ever trade in being a kid for another advanced placement course that they might not need, or too many more hours studying or working on something when they could be hanging out with their friends. So we take that seriously. No homework, no work, no projects over the break. Spring break, midwinter recess, winter recess, it's a break. Take it. You deserve it. So we make sure that happens. So we take that very seriously. And beyond that, I want you to leave here today also realizing that while the rigor of the coursework and the tests and what drives students is important, Staten Island Tech has introduced this metaphorical U-turn into the pathway when you're learning and experiencing what you experience in the school. What I mean by that is this concept of restorative assessment. In Staten Island Tech, when you don't quite hit the benchmark on a test or an assessment, you get a second chance. You have the opportunity to reassess, retest, until you reach the benchmark based upon a conversation that you have with your teachers. So while you get that extra support, where you need that extra tutoring, this unique opportunity is intended to reinforce the importance of failure as part of the process, making mistakes as part of the process, realizing how important the grades are to our students and achievement and success. We've designed and instituted a system that allows students to make mistakes gracefully and in a healthy manner, in a healthy way. So we've really obsessed and thought about all the nuances of the student experience here and making sure they have a very, very healthy, happy, and prosperous and reflective 4 years here as students at Staten Island Tech. I'll be more than happy to talk a little bit more about that afterwards. So finally, what brings us to the last part of our conversation tonight is a specialized high school admissions test. So if you're in the 8th grade, in a few short weeks, if you're in a public school students, on November 17th, you'll be taking the specialized high school admissions test in your middle school. If you're a private or parochial school student, you will either come in November 19th, 20th, or December 11th as an 8th grader. And if you miss one of those dates, there's a December 11th date as well. And if you're a 9th grader who's here tonight, there's Sunday, December 11th, or Saturday, December 17th, where you can take the specialized high school admissions test. Parents, you're going to get a preliminary form to fill out with your child that asks you to prioritize which of the schools you're most interested in. Basically, this is how it works. If you're really interested in Staten Island Tech, you want to bubble us as your first choice. There are only 360 seats available in the 9th grade class. And I want to dispel something that is often misconstrued. The Department of Ed publishes the lowest qualifying SHSAT score for admissions each year. I want to explain how this works, and I'll try to simplify it for you. There are going to be about 27,000 students who take the test. You're going to take the test, and then a computer is going to score that test and rank all the students from 1 to 27,000. Then the computer is going to look at student number 1 and see what did they put down as their first prioritized school. Let's pretend it's Staten Island Tech. That will take 1 seat away from the allotted seats for Staten Island Tech. There will now be 359. The computer keeps on going down the list and matching students to their first choice school as long as there are seats left. Okay, so that process continues. So it is not true that you need a score, a specific score, to get into Staten Island Tech, or any school for that matter. What these scores are the scores of the last student who got the last seat into that school. So the 360 students who got into Staten Island Tech last year got a 527. Okay, it changes from year to year. No one sits around and makes this number up. It's solely determined by the demand and the size of the school. So for example, school like HSME, High School for Math, Science, and Engineering, they're a smaller school. They only have about 100 and so seats. So their number is going to be a little bit higher because their seats go very, very quick. All right, so I just wanted to make sure you understood that it is not dependent upon, of course, the better you do on the test, the higher you will rank, and the more likely you will get the school of your choice. I have included this QR code. It's on this QR code. You have your camera, you can take it now. This will take you to the New York City Department of Education website. Use that as your resource to get all the information that you need about the specialized high school admissions test. On your actual map that you're using tonight, on the right is our admissions QR code. That will bring you back to the same page that you used to register tonight. That page is where we're going to keep on putting information. There's a lot of incredible videos and resources. If you want to learn more about our programs, you can use that to view the student-produced video compilations of everything about our school. And I really encourage you, if you're curious to see what it's like to be a Staten Island Tech student, check out our social media. Even if you're not a social media person, one of the unique things about the school is every teacher allows me to use my camera phone in their classroom so I can show our families and our parents and our children what is going on in our classrooms each and every day. So check that out when you actually get the chance. And I just want to thank you for joining us tonight. So at this time, for those of you who are about to start or continue your tour, I kindly ask that you please take a moment, don't rush through the building, check everything out, because there's lots of little surprises around each corner. Take the time to ask students questions, and I wish you all the luck on the SHSAT in a couple of weeks. Have a good night, and please make your way out starting from the back row, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you, folks.